believe he's in Washington, D.C. He's got a book coming out on this very topic. He's the former director of Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, under President Obama, and he is now on the phone. General, I know you must have a lot of thoughts. We also have the Admiral here. So as we look at what's happening in Brussels, was this avoidable?
Yeah, first of all, I think Jim Stavridis is absolutely right, as many of your guests have been this morning. I think the first thing that we have to do is we have to stop apologizing for what we're seeing here. And I think some have said it, and I firmly believe this, and I do write about this in a book that I'm coming out with. This is a political ideology that's wrapped in this false cloak of radical Islamism. And let's face it, the strategy that we have is not working. In fact, right now we're losing, and I'm talking about a very big war that's beyond Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Others you've had talked about Libya. We're talking about Yemen, and now Europe multiple times. We've already seen attacks in our country, and I think that Jim Stavridis is exactly right about this issue of social media and cyber. That is part of what we have to do. We have to really go after this ideology. So I'll stop there for any questions.
General, I got a question for you. You said we've got to stop apologizing. For what?
Yeah, we apologize because we tend to apologize as though we're going after some religious idea. But in fact, this is a political ideology, and they cloak themselves in a religion because they know that is a major weakness of us. And I know this. These guys have said this. They've said this in their writings. They've said this in the interrogations that we've done of these guys. So this is a real big problem, and we're going to have to deal with this in a far more mature way than we are dealing with it right now. And I'm telling you, these guys, we attack one or two guys in Syria or Iraq. These guys counterattack strategic targets, as Jim Stavridis just laid out, what we've seen in Brussels, or what we've seen in like a San Bernardino, or what we've seen in Paris. These counterattacks, and there will be more of them. There will be more of them, and we have to quit kidding ourselves about what we're facing.
All right, Admiral, you wanted to respond to that?
I'll just follow up on General Flynn's comment to say all the more important that we coordinate and work with our European allies. This is not an isolated European problem. It's not a U.S. problem in San Bernardino. We have got to work together, as Mike and I both did during our time in uniform.
See, the thing is, they can communicate. We know through social media we can do it. But, guys, in the big picture, we have taken forever to try to take down ISIS. We have allowed them to spread and fester. I watched an officer testify to the Armed Services Committee last week, says there's no plan right now to take out Raqqa. How does that at all relate to what we're seeing now in Europe?
Yeah.
Go ahead, General.
Well, I'm sorry. So very quickly, even that, I mean, that's a real a tragedy that we don't have a plan for that kind of a tactical operation. But as Admiral Stavridis is highlighting, and others have, this is a larger problem. Going into Mosul, going into Raqqa, those are necessary things we have to do tactically to basically send a message that we are not going to allow these guys to have a safe haven in a large part of the Middle East. But we are going to have to go after this enemy strategically in a much different way. And Admiral Stavridis is exactly right. We have to bring a coalition together. There has to be a big Arab component to this coalition, and the Arab leaders that are still willing and understand that they have a problem themselves, they are going to have to be